The glorious Model O, a mouse so commonly used in the Minecraft community that somebody in your lobby probably has one. Touted for its versatility, people are pretty quick to just assumingly buy the Model O thinking it'll be best for them. But in this video, I'm going to open your eyes to two other mice that I think you should really consider before even buying a Model O. And don't get me wrong, I used to love the Model O and that used to be my top Minecraft recommendation, but the more and more mice I tried, and I've tried a lot, I'm really starting to not recommend the mouse anymore. So in this video, I'm going to compare the glorious Model O to these two mice that I want to open the Minecraft community's eyes to. I hope you enjoy, and I know I'm probably going to get some hate, but hear me out. So let me preface this video by starting off by saying I do not mean any hate towards anyone who likes the Model O, who uses the Model O, or recommends the Model O. Gaming mice or gaming peripherals in general are heavily preference-based, so it's totally fine for people to like the Model O because it is very possible that somebody does like it based on their preferences. But I'm not one of those people that like the Model O as much as I used to, and I want to explain why and give you some recommendations I think everyone should at least look at before going straight to the Model O. Spoiler alert, the second mouse I'm actually talking about in this video is actually my most favorite in this video. Why is my opinion different from anyone else's? Well, I've tried out many different mice over the past few months, and I've really been trying to compare them to the Model O to see if there's any other recommendation I can give in the Minecraft community. Spending $50 on a mouse can be a lot of money for some people, and I really want to make sure you can make the best informed decision you can before getting a mouse like that. And you're probably also asking, didn't you just post a top Minecraft PvP mice video like the other week? And the answer is yes, I did. But this is not going to be the same formatted video. This video is primarily zeroing in on the Model O and its best alternative. So I made sure some of the top qualities of the two mice that we're looking at are pretty much lightweight gaming mice that can possibly double click and support the three major clicking methods in Minecraft, and that are also $60 and below. So first, let me talk about the things I really just did not appreciate about the Model O over time. Compared to the two mice I'm going to talk about later in this video, the Model O shape really is not ideal, especially when other shapes like the other two mice exist. Personally, I favor shape over anything else when it comes to aim potential, so this is really important for me. Now, of course, shape is totally preference to whatever your hand size is, and don't get me wrong, the Model O shape is definitely far from the worst I've ever tried, and it's definitely usable, but again, I like to have my best aim potential, and I don't think I'm getting it with the Model O shape. Next, I'm not the biggest fan of the Model O buttons. They use 20mm omrons, which are their main switches in left and right mouse button. The side buttons can develop some squish over time, and the scroll wheel can get loose over time. And also, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about when I said 20mm omrons earlier, those are the main switches in the mouse, and those control the click feeling. 20mm omrons are some of the cheaper ones companies can get, and overall, just on a general consensus in the mouse community, they're some of the lowest quality. The second to last thing I really did not appreciate about the Model O would be the coating. It's one of these smoother ones that don't really add a lot of grip. And now the last thing I want to say about the Model that is a big downside that every single potential Model O owner should keep in mind is the build quality, and overall this quality control is very unreliable. I picked up a Model O wired and Model O minus last month, and both of them had creaking right out of the box, so you can only imagine how worse that's going to get over time. And I think this is a big red flag about the Model O because a lot of people who buy gaming mice only buy one at a time for months, so if it breaks maybe like a month in, you're kind of screwed. So this is really something you have to take in mind. Now, I don't want to be completely negative in this video, so I will list some pros about the Model O. It's very lightweight, it can get high CPS in Minecraft with an adjustable debounce time, so you can lower the CPS wherever you need to. And Glorious does have a forgiving policy if you do receive a defective copy, so the odds are they are going to get you a new one if you do have a problem. But you know, why even have the problem in the first place? The Model O has been out for over 2 years now. They have improved the build quality in the wireless one, but you would have wanted to see the refresh of the wired one. So those are my personal pros and cons about the Model O. I do think the cons do outweigh the pros, and please feel free to disagree if you want to. Let me know down in the comments. Please be reasonable, and let's keep it respectful. Okay, now let me introduce the first mouse that I personally think is a better buy than the glorious Model O. Let me present you the G-Wolves Hottie HTM or Hottie Medium. Same thing. I think G-Wolves is a company that really is not well known in the Minecraft community, and I really hope they can kind of become well known because I feel like the Hottie HTM is actually a really good mouse for PvP. So on paper, out of the box, this mouse is actually pretty similar to a Model O. It's lightweight, it's 61 grams with a honeycomb design. Very similar coating that might actually be a little bit grippier, but pretty much same coating. It uses 20mm omrons and has an adjustable debounce time as low as 4 milliseconds and gets pretty much the same CPS as the wired Model O. So what makes this mouse different? What makes it actually worth the $60 over the $50 Model O? So let's start off by talking about the shape, which is kind of a play on the G Pro Wireless / G Pro Superlight, but a little bit altered just a tiny bit. In my opinion, this shape is very well rounded and is actually a little bit safer than the glorious Model O shape, so I think a lot of people can actually get accommodated to the shape over the Model O's. It also has flatter buttons, which I feel like feel better to butterfly on because the Model O's buttons are a little bit curvy. These are pretty much almost flattened out. The next thing I want to talk about are the accessories it comes with. It comes with an extra paracord, like 2 extra sets of feet, extra set of switches, some grip tape, even though it's not the best grip tape, but grip tape nonetheless, and a tin can. Like, this thing comes with a ton of stuff you can actually apply to your mouse to make it better. Personally, I applied the extra switches. They're TTC Rose Gold switches, which feel way better than 20mm Omrons. Now, the application process of adding new switches is actually pretty complicated and not for people who are new to it, because the soldering iron can be expensive, it can be pretty hard to work with, so I just won't count that as a pro for the mouse, because I feel like a majority of people watching this video probably wouldn't even apply those switches even if they had it. And the last thing that I think makes the Hottie M a better buy than the glorious Model O that I want to touch up on is the build quality. In my experience owning both mice, the build quality in the Hottie has held up better, and I rarely hear as much stories about a bad Hottie M than I do a bad Model O. So yeah, that has been Model O alternative number 1, and now let's talk about my personal favorite out of these mice, the Pulsefire Haste. Now, I've made multiple videos talking about the Pulsefire Haste already, but I feel like it hasn't gotten enough traction yet, and I really want to reiterate this again. This is the Model O killer in my books. Now, starting off with the shape is actually pretty different from the Model O, and in my experience, a better shape. Now, admittedly, I wasn't a big fan of this shape either out of the box, but this mouse actually does come with grip tape. I slapped the grip tape on, shape felt way better, formed my hand way better, and I just had a better aiming experience. The glide on this mouse I also feel like is noticeably better. It is 8 grams lighter and has a more flexible cable, so it's just easier to move around on my mouse pad and had a faster aiming experience, and I prefer faster aiming. The coating / texture on it is also better in my books. It is a little bit grittier and easier to get grip on. The mouse in my experience has more effortless double clicking, especially while butterfly clicking. The switches are lighter, the TTC Gold switches, which are some of my most favorites. They feel very nice, tactile, responsive with very little travel. Now, of course, double clicking is seen as a pro in this video as we're looking at versatile Minecraft mice that are better alternatives than the Model O, but it's also one thing to keep in mind. This mouse does not have an adjustable debounce time, so be careful when you go on servers that don't allow high tier CPS or double clicking. Another important thing to note is that in my experience, and overall just other people's reviews experience, the Pulsefire Haste has good build quality and will most likely last longer than a Model O, and likely not have creaking straight out of the box. Some cons about this mouse though is that it does have slimmer mouse buttons. I think they're just barely big enough to easily butterfly on and use, but for people who have really thick fingers, this may not be a great butterfly mouse. And the last con, well, it's not a con anymore because it was fixed, but this mouse used to have sensor issues, but if you download the software and update the firmware, it'll actually correct it and your mouse will be fine with the sensor. Oh yeah, and this mouse is also $50 just like the Model O and way more accessible. You can probably walk into a Best Buy and get one, overnight shipping with Amazon and get one. It's very easy to find. Now yeah, you can probably tell I had a lot of great things to say about the Pulsefire Haste, and honestly, I truly do believe that this is a better buy than the Model O, and is my top recommendation when it comes to versatile Minecraft mice, and it's actually one of the better general use mice too. So if you do Minecraft and FPS games, this one will also be pretty good for you. So right, those are the 2 mice that I would personally recommend over the Model O if you're looking for a versatile Minecraft mouse, and especially I would recommend the Haste number 1. Now I cannot stress this enough, I'm not trying to send any hate or trying to diss anyone with a Model O who likes the Model O, anything like that. Just personally, over time, I've tried many different mice, especially in Minecraft, and personally, I don't think the Model O should be the number 1 recommendation people get anymore. Like I said, $50 is a lot of money to some people, and I want to make sure they actually spend it knowing that they actually know all the good options out there. Links to both mice will be in the description down below, and if you have any opposing thoughts or just comments, let me know down in the comment section down below. And please be respectful. We really don't get anywhere with toxicity in this community, so please try to be respectful.